Now then, hello folks and welcome back to my video gaming channel Retro Gamer Diaries. Today we're talking about Sonic Chaos. Sonic Chaos is a 1993 platform game published by Sega for the Master System and the Game Gear. Developed by Japanese studio Aspect Co., Chaos is the first original Sonic game made for a handheld, instead of a port or remake of an existing game. Today I'm going to be playing the Game Gear version, not the Master System game. Although technically speaking they're both the same game, just on different systems, but the same game. Aspect used the knowledge gained from its work on previous Sonic games while developing Chaos to make it more expansive and faster than its predecessors.
Chaos for Game Gear. Chaos with rocket shoes. Chaos with pogo springs. Chaos with Sonic or Tails. Chaos improved. New Sonic Chaos only on Sega Game Gear. Sega!
Anyway, players control Sonic the Hedgehog and his sidekick Miles Tails Prower in their quest to retrieve the Chaos Emeralds from Dr. Robotnik, who has stolen them to construct nuclear weapons. This sounds all very similar. It's just the same as the other Sonic games really, isn't it? Gameplay involves running through stages, collecting rings and defeating enemies. It is largely based on the Master System version of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and is thus considered a follow-up to that game. In Sonic Chaos, players control one of two characters, Sonic the Hedgehog or his sidekick Miles Tails Prower, and you must complete each of the game's worlds in a quest to retrieve the Chaos Emeralds from the evil scientist Dr. Robotnik, who plots to use them to rule the world. Again, it just sounds all very familiar. Very Groundhog Day this for Sonic. As usual with most Sonic 2D games, each world, referred to as zones in-game, is made up of 3 levels called acts. The third one consisting of a boss fight against one of Robotnik's henchbots, or Robotnik himself in the final zone. The levels are designed to allow the player to move as quickly as possible, and are largely based on those in the precursor game Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The gameplay itself involves running through each level while collecting rings and defeating Robotnik's robotic minions. Rings protect Sonic and Tails from being hit by an enemy or obstacle. Levels also contain small television monitors that can be smashed to reveal a power-up icon, which grants Sonic and Tails with unique abilities such as speed shoes, a one-hit shield and extra lives. Chaos does add several new additions to the core Sonic gameplay. Both characters have their own unique characteristics. Sonic can perform a move called the Super Peel Out, which was originally in Sonic CD, that makes him move extra fast, while Tails is able to fly and can hover over traps and other obstacles. Sonic can collect a new power-up called the Rocket Shoes, which grant him the ability to fly for a short period of time. Tails is unable to use this and will simply be granted extra rings if he were to smash a monitor containing the Rocket Shoes. If Sonic collects 100 rings in a level, he will be teleported to a special stage, which if completed will award him with a Chaos Emerald. The game offers multiple endings that are based on the number of Chaos Emeralds collected. Again, as I've mentioned, it's the same Sonic formula used in most of the Sonic 2D games. Anyway, let's have a look at the game. So this is the first level, Turquoise Zone. Very much in the style of Green Hill as a tropical paradise themed opening level. Turquoise Hill Zone is filled with grassy plains, palm trees, checkered soil and loops. I suppose what does distinguish Turquoise Hill from its greener counterpart is the profusion of springs all over the place. Turquoise Hill Zone's boss is a simple massive boing Obot called the Ladybug Boss. However, it possesses essentially no offensive capabilities at all and simply crawls from one side of the screen to the other on caterpillar tracks. The spring on its back prevents Sonic the Hedgehog or Tails from simply jumping on it until the robot explodes. However, like its smaller brethren, the Ladybug Boss is quite defenceless against a spin dash. Now, the Gigalopolis Zone is an extra modern futuristic city set at night under the stars. Some of the level resembles a construction site with orange metal frameworks and seemingly incomplete block walls. The background displays various high-rise buildings as well. Taken together, these features are very similar to the Starlight Zone. The boss is some sort of giant upright mechanical caterpillar. The machine attacks by lobbing the spherical segments of its own body in Sonic or Tails' direction. Dodge the metal balls and hit the automaton on its glass-shielded cranium to defeat it. Now we're on the Sleeping Egg Zone. The Sleeping Egg Zone is a dream world created by Dr. Robotnik, taking place on a mysterious floating island in the sky. It features many breakable blocks and tiles with the scientist's image chiseled into them. Sleeping Egg Zone's boss is a bouncing, gun-toting, Robotnik look-alike robot. The machine can actually provide some problems, as only the head is vulnerable, and the speed of its bouncing is such that landing a strike takes some work. All the while, the boss's cannon spits bullets in Sonic or Tails' direction, so be careful, huh? The Mecha Green Hill Zone is a tropical area, but everything from the ground to the trees is completely mechanised. Steel palm trees deploy explosive coconut bots, and boing old bot badniks trundle across the bleak fields of synthetic grass. The ground is stark and metallic, and the skies are sickly polluted green or orange on the Game Gear version. The zone also incorporates the Tilton bridges from the Gigalopolis zone that the player has to sprint across fast or fall off. Mecha Green Hill Zone's boss appears to be a cross between a beetle, a sloth, and a monkey. That reminds me of somebody, actually. While shimmering up and down a robotic palm, the machine spits out energy bolts from a cannon hidden inside its back. Not nearly as problematic as its sleeping egg predecessor, the boss can be defeated through the standard tactic of dodging the attacks and jumping on its head. Another means of defeating it is for the player to jump above the head and stay there, giving him repeated damage. This only works with Sonic because that bloomin' Tails just keeps bouncing around. Okay, now we're on the Aqua Planet Zone, which is a water planet located in another dimension that is full of submerged temple-like terrain. The planet's sky is covered in clouds and numerous structures resembling oil rigs, which can be seen in the background of this stage. The Spherobot boss is the master robot of Aqua Planet Zone and is an odd egg-shaped robot with a bird-like face built by Dr. Robotnik. The robot has multiple phases as it will eventually fall down and bounce around while shooting projectile at a time. The player has to do 17 hits during the whole battle in order to destroy it. Now we're in the Electric Egg Zone. This is a sprawling techno fortress and is Dr. Robotnik's base of operation in the game. Automatic laser cannons, bottomless pits and spikes have plenty await Sonic and Tails as they close in on Dr. Robotnik himself. The zone is crisscrossed by a network of winding vacuum tubes, reminiscent of the Scrambled Egg Zone from the previous Master System Game Gear adventure Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Okay, so the first part of the boss is the Laser Walker, an egg mobile equipped with a pair of legs and a cannon that fires energy projectiles. These are actually quite difficult to dodge as they persist for a considerable while, ricocheting all over the screen. After 16 hits to the machine, Robotnik discards the leg attachment and flies to the right side of the area where he attempted to ram Sonic or Tails to death once they followed him. However, if the heroes manage to hit him from behind or below, Robotnik is defeated. Sonic proceeds to pursue the escaping and surprisingly nimble Robotnik across Electric Egg's corridor. If Sonic has not collected the 5 available Chaos Emeralds from the game's special stages, Sonic will chase Robotnik, but he will get away with the red Chaos Emerald. If he has been collecting the gems, Robotnik still escapes aboard a floating platform, but he drops the 6th red emerald while doing so. Presumably, reuniting this emerald with its counterpart stops the South Island from sinking into the sea. In Tails' case, the good ending still occurs even though he cannot access the special stages. In the United States, Sonic Chaos was the top-selling Game Gear game in January 1994. Sonic Chaos initially received a positive response from publications. The 4 reviewers of Electronic Gaming Monthly commented that the Game Gear version retains all the elements that made the 16-bit Sonic games fun to play. They also praised the graphics and the ability to play as Tails. Sonic Chaos was awarded Best Game Gear of 1993 by Electronic Gaming Monthly. However, in later years, Chaos was met with more average reception. Nintendo Life criticised the Master System version for being a genuinely uninspired game, criticising its difficulty for being too easy and its level designs for being bland and mediocre. Retrospectively in 2019, Hardcore Gaming 101 gave a rather mixed response to the game. They felt disappointed with the gameplay and stage designs for the lack in the uniqueness and puzzle solving that we found in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and they disliked its slow frame rate. They were also quite critical of the soundtrack of being genuinely lacking in quality and for the overall presentation being unimpressive. They felt that Chaos was only worth checking out for dedicated fans, writing Sonic Chaos is by no means a bad game, but it's not a particularly great game either. It's a functional platformer that's only worth checking out if you're really into 8-bit Sonic games, or have an interest in traditional Sonic platformer with a bigger focus on exploration. Gosh, a little bit hard. So anyway, what do I think of the game? Well, compared to the Sega Master System version, the action feels much faster here, and the slowdown that hampered the console title is either non-existent or barely noticeable. So that's quite a positive point. However, for me, where things falter is around the level design, as each stage is short and most can be beaten in 30 seconds. The Mecha Green Hill Zone might sound appealing to long-term fans, but instead it looks like a badly designed variation of a Sonic CD Future level. I was a little bit disappointed with that. Sleeping Egg Zone's attachable springs to reach higher platforms are a great idea, but they're underutilised, making them more of a brief gimmick than an integral part of the action. The game could certainly have done a bit more there. For me, Electric Egg is the only zone that stands out. It is generally fun choosing your route as you speed through the pipes. The smaller screen doesn't cause any issues, but that's mainly due to the lack of enemies and bottomless pits, as well as the abundance of extra lights on offer. The special stages do provide some enjoyment, and I like how each has a unique play mechanic to help you search for Chaos Emeralds. And although Tails does provide some replayability, it is really weird how he's unable to access these special stages. Again, I felt that was a lost opportunity. It would have been much better if he could do that. And now for the bosses. I feel again that this is a real low point, and the fact that some can be beaten by repeatedly bouncing off their heads without touching the ground is just a bit of a joke really. So I am sad and disappointed to say that Sonic Chaos on the Sega Game Gear is incredibly lazy from a level design perspective, but at least it's a more polished version of the game than that Master System version. It certainly plays better too, and looking on the bright side, at least the all too brief stages fit better on a portable than they did on the Sega's 8-bit home console. Therefore, I'm going to rate this game 6 out of 10 stars. Okay folks, that was my short review of the Game Gear game Sonic Chaos. If you like this video, then please press like. However, it would be really great for you to subscribe to my new channel and become part of the gang. Until my next Master System game review, have a good day, see you all very soon, bye bye.